History tells us a simple story. Our ancestors were primitive. They didn't have advanced math, complex engineering, or any real understanding of electricity, astronomy, or precision tools. It's a neat, linear progression from simple to complex, but then we find things. Objects and structures so advanced for their time that even with all our modern science, we struggle to explain how they were made. And these aren't myths or legends. They're real artifacts you can see and touch. Today, we're looking at 5 more ancient technologies that simply should not have existed. Our first stop is a shipwreck off the coast of a Greek island. In 1901, divers exploring the wreck discovered a lump of corroded bronze. For decades, it was dismissed as junk, maybe part of a statue or some old ship equipment. But then, scientists decided to X-ray it. What they found inside was impossible. Hidden within the corroded exterior were dozens of intricate, interlocking bronze gears. Each one was machined with a level of precision that was absolutely mind-boggling for the time. This wasn't junk. This was the Antikythera mechanism. After years of painstaking research, scientists have pieced together its function. This device, built over 2,000 years ago, was an ancient analog computer. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses with stunning accuracy. It tracked the complex movements of the 5 planets, visible to the naked eye. It even calculated the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. To put this in perspective, the complexity of its gear system would be seen again in human history for more than 1,000 years, with the arrival of astronomical clocks in medieval Europe. Think about that. A civilization, 2 millennia ago, possessed the mechanical and astronomical knowledge to build a portable, mechanical model of the cosmos. How did they achieve such a feat? Who designed it? And what other wonders did they create that have been lost to the sea? The Antikythera mechanism is a stark reminder that the ancient world was far more sophisticated than we imagine. Next, we traveled to the misty hills of Scotland, where over 100 ancient stone forts dot the landscape. From a distance, they look like typical Iron Age ruins, but get closer and you'll see something bizarre. The stones aren't just stacked. In many places, they're fused together. The surface of the rock has been melted into a black, glassy substance. This is vitrification. The problem is, to vitrify stone like this, you need to generate and sustain incredible heat. Temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 1,100 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than a typical bonfire, and far hotter than any kill technology we thought ancient people possessed. So, how did they do it? And more importantly, why? Some theories suggest it was a deliberate act of destruction by an enemy, but the vitrification is often too uniform and widespread for that. Others propose it was a way of strengthening the walls, a sort of ancient superglue. But experiments to recreate the effect, even using modern techniques, have struggled to achieve the same results on such a massive scale. The builders of these forts managed to turn solid rock into molten glass, creating structures that have baffled engineers for centuries. They possessed a technology for generating extreme heat that we simply don't understand. It's a silent, glassy testament to a lost and powerful knowledge. From the hills of Scotland, we head to the deserts of modern day Iraq. In the 1930s, near Baghdad, archaeologists unearthed a curious little object. It was a small clay jar, about 5 inches tall. Inside, there was a copper cylinder, and inside that, a small iron rod held in place by an asphalt stopper. At first, no one was sure what it was. A container for sacred scrolls, perhaps. But then, someone noticed the combination of metals, copper, iron, and the stopper, which likely sealed in an acidic liquid, like vinegar or grape juice. When researchers built replicas and added a mild acid, the device produced a small but steady electrical current. This is the Baghdad battery, dating back nearly 2,000 years. It predates Alessandro Volta's invention of the battery by about 80th centuries. What was it used for? The leading theory is electroplating, a process of coating one metal with a thin layer of another, like silver or gold. If TEAS is true, it means that ancient artisans may have understood the basic principles of electricity. It completely rewrites the timeline of technological discovery. While it might not have been enough to power a city, the very concept of harnessing electricity, even on a tiny scale, is a monumental leap that history books tell us shouldn't have happened for another 2 millennia. Now, let's journey high into the Andes Mountains of Peru, to the breathtaking site of Machu Picchu. It's the stonework. The granite blocks used to build the temples and houses fit together with impossible precision. We're talking about joints so tight you can't slip a credit card, let alone a razor blade, between them. There's no mortar holding them together, just perfectly shaped stone resting against perfectly shaped stone. Many of these blocks weigh over 50 tons. And here's the kicker. The Inca had no iron tools. They had no wheeled vehicles to transport these massive stones up the mountainside, and they had no system of writing to pass down complex architectural plans. Yet, they managed to quarry, transport, and shape these colossal stones with an accuracy that rivals modern laser cutting. Their buildings have stood for centuries, surviving numerous earthquakes that have leveled modern structures nearby. The question of how they achieved this remains one of the greatest mysteries in engineering. It defies our understanding of what should be possible with a Bronze Age toolkit. Our final mystery takes us back to Peru, but to a site much older than Machu Picchu. Chavin-Duante is a ceremonial center that dates back over 3,000 years. On the surface, it's an impressive complex of temples and plazas, but the real magic happens underground. The site is riddled with a network of man-made tunnels and galleries, precisely engineered for a very specific purpose: to manipulate sound. As you walk through these passages, the acoustics change dramatically. Some chambers amplify whispers into booming pronouncements. Others create disorienting echoes or filter out specific frequencies, making the human voice sound otherworldly. Water channels built into the tunnels would have created a constant, rumbling background noise. Researchers believe this was all intentional. During rituals, priests would use these acoustic effects to create an atmosphere of awe, fear, and religious ecstasy. They could make the voice of a god seemingly emanate from the stone itself. This required an advanced understanding of acoustics, architectural resonance, and human psychology. They were sound engineers. 3,000 years before the invention of the microphone, they sculpted not just stone, but the very sensory experience of everyone who entered their sacred space, proving that ancient technology wasn't just about physical tools, but also about mastering the invisible forces of the world. From analog computers to vitrified forts, from ancient batteries to impossible stonework and acoustic engineering, these examples challenge everything we think we know about the past. They weren't accidents or flukes. They are the clear fingerprints of sophisticated knowledge and advanced thinking. They suggest that ancient civilizations understood the world in ways we are only now beginning to appreciate. And perhaps the most unsettling thought is not what they knew, but what we've lost. History isn't just the story of what survives. It's also the story of what gets forgotten. Thanks for watching. If you find these mysteries as fascinating as I do, make sure to follow for more.